My name is Tracy Cavness, and this is my resurrection story. Well, I was born in Dixon, Tennessee, and I grew up mostly moving place to place. My father worked at TVA, and we traveled. We did not stay in one spot. We never went to church. We always had, other things to do on Sunday. Church was not a priority when I was younger. Got two brothers and a sister, and so when you've got all these people in your household, it's a lot anyways. But me and my sister were abused. There was a family member that broke the trust between a male and a female that should not have been broke, and so therefore I was lost. I was scared. I thought it was my fault, had no reason. So I started going to church with a friend of mine, and that's when I learned about Jesus. And of course I'm thinking, this whole time, Jesus, who's this guy named Jesus? How's he going to help me through, this stuff that I'm going through? So I continued a couple weeks here and there going, when I spent the night with my friend, I would, go to church and, learn more, what I could. I remember one night laying in the bed and just devastated by the things going on that I decided, let's give this Jesus guy a try. So I accepted Jesus. I asked him to come into my heart, just take these things that, are happening to me away. And so, a couple weeks later, I go back to church with my friends, and I'm like, these things are still happening to me. How can, this fantastic guy that you guys are talking about, Jesus, that's supposed to take these things away, how come it's still happening? So, it happened from, on through teenage years. I figured that, then that this Jesus wasn't what, everybody was made out to be. So I started to rebel. I started dating Eugene in my junior year in high school. We got engaged my senior year in high school when it was Christmas. And then we got married a month after I graduated high school. So I've been with my husband. He's my high school sweetheart. We still did not go to church. It was not bred into neither one of us to go to church. So Dakota was born, and he started having health issues. I seen an issue, my husband did not. I'm like trying to hit reality here and thinking, something is wrong with Dakota. So with that being said, our marriage took a toll and we split up. So on the downfall of when we split up, I stepped out on the marriage. Not proud of it, by no means. But with that being said, I remember laying on the couch where I was staying, and God plainly looks at me and said, "What are you doing? Why are you trying to live this life by yourself? I am here. Let me help you." So I get up and I grab the kids, and I can hear him in the back of my mind, "Go home. Work on your marriage." So we leave. We go. I work on my marriage, and I decided that I needed to be in church. I wasn't forcing my husband or anything like that, but I needed to be in church. So I started going to Pisgah United Methodist Church, and that's where I understood the importance of being in a church and how the church can help you through. Not only do you not have to have God, but you have to have a church to back you up. My husband decided that he was going to go ahead and start church. He gets baptized in that church. That's when I started teaching Sunday school, and then I moved to Wednesday nights, and then I started teaching every Sunday morning. That's where I first felt the call on my life that I need to be preaching to children. I did not push the call. I did not accept the call at the time. I just felt the call being there. About 2 years after being at that church, that we belonged somewhere else. And so we started looking for other churches. And as we're looking for other churches, I remember picking my son Dakota up from school, and he says, "But Mom, what about the church across the street?" And I'm like, "Well, okay, we can try it." So the next Sunday we get up and we go to that church, and we've not left this church. I talked about, the call to preaching to kids. I accepted the call when I started at WCN. I did, step up. I did preach to the kids for a little while. I dropped down. That was the hard thing to do, but I am able to still fill in and still preach to the kids and still teach the kids. Another way I can see God working in my life is through my son. When he was 4.5 years old, we finally get on the same page, me and my husband, and we realize there is an issue with some of his walking and things. So we get him to the Shriners Hospital in Lexington, Kentucky, and they do major testing, and we were headed back to get the results. And I remember in the back of my mind praying, Lord, before I would have said, Lord, please don't let my son have this horrible disease. But being a Christian and a different outlook, my prayer was, Lord, if my son has this disease, give me the patience and give me the direction that I need to make sure he gets the care that he needs. And I can tell you, God has showed up, and he has been with me the whole entire time. My biggest inspiration would be my son, because we have almost lost him a couple times, and he always looks at me and says, Mom, what are you worried about? God has this. Who, he's the one going through these trials. I should be comforting him, and he's the one comforting me. So, even though he has this disease, and he's got some challenges, God helps us through this. And God helps him help me to get through this. The church has always been there for us, no matter what. I can, think of when we had an issue of giving Dakota his bath. The church stepped up, chair accessible shower for us to be able to, give Dakota a shower. They've prayed for us, they've prayed with us, they've prayed for us. The church has always been there. Anytime I need them, all I have to do is call, and they're always there for us. Life with Christ today is the most amazing thing that you could ask for. My marriage is strong. We are doing amazing. I get to love on my kids, and now I have 2 grandkids. I just cannot imagine life without Christ. Through the trials and tribulations that we face every day. I'm Tracy, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me.